Oh yeah. Here we go. 173. I like it. Let's do it. Monday. Come on in. Happy Monday. All right, come on in. Where's my controller? What? There we go. Little technical problem there. How are we going here? What's going on? Come on in, everybody. We got a group. I like it. I am wired. I just did a show and drove home to come do this, and I am wired. Whenever I'm done doing shows, I'm like, bleh. And I didn't eat a lot today, and it's now pot o'clock. It's time to do the beat on the brat with the baseball bat right here. Really? Wait, that witch back there? Or this one? This is not a witch. This is Art the Clown. This one looks like Zombo? Which one? This is Zombo right here. Hi. This one. That is Zombo. It's a big one. That's Zombo there. What's up, Larry, Tony, Michael, Paul, Ryan? Who else we got in here? Come on in. I'm gonna have fun today. I didn't write a whole lot, and usually these are the ones that are more fun. Before I begin, if you're watching live, what's up? Say hi. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all that nonsense. But mostly, if you're new in here, say hi. If I know you, say hi. There's always people in here I know. There's people in here from all sorts of walks of life that I've known all the way from grade school up until now, come in this show. It's funny, I have a few secret celebrities that watch this show. I'm not allowed to say whom, but what's up? I know you're watching. Who else? Any shout outs today? Shout out, it is Italian American Day, whoop whoop. It's also Indigenous People Day. Whoop whoop. I'm not Indigenous, but I'm the first one. And did you ever look up the history of Columbus Day? Look it up. It's not what people think. Here's a little factoid most people don't know. The largest lynching in America was Italian guys. It was 11 Italian dudes in jail. Look it up. It's kind of wacky. And it was so bad that the Italian government was like, what is going on over there? And our government apologized and made some holidays and did some nice stuff. Check it out. I grew up in a very Italian family, and for us, Columbus Day was like pretty serious. Like if you told our grandma, my mom's probably watching, if you told our grandma that Columbus didn't discover America and the Vikings did, she would have gotten really mad. But, I mean, for us, it was Italian Day. I never thought of it as Columbus himself Day, but more of Italian American Day. So, bada bing, bada boom, eat some pasta, and, yeah, Italians do some cool stuff. So, cheers to that. And as for Indigenous people, I'm quite shocked they haven't had their own holiday. I mean, it's kind of weird they're piggybacking it with the Italians. I think their holiday should be pretty serious. I mean, some of the groups get a month of recognition of something. You'd think they'd get something cool. And they deserve it, obviously. But honestly, maybe we shouldn't have any of these kind of days. Maybe we should just... Everybody seems mad about who celebrates what, and it's just... Or, you know, celebrate all of the above. Let's do that. That's the one. Just celebrate everything. Non-stop. So much that nobody cares. What else? Oh! So, for some weird reason, I don't know why I'm dropping things. Hold on. I'm trying to get comfy here. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe. There we go. Is my algorithm being weird today? Yeah, I think so. Listen, these algorithms aren't cool. Who's in here? Goblinko's in here? Is he in here? What's up, brother? Oh, yeah, my mom is in here. What is going on here? Goblinko's not my official sponsor. They're my unofficial sponsor. I have lots of... Oh, yeah. So, somebody asked about sponsorship. I have lots of unofficial sponsors who do give me free things to give away. So, they're kind of sponsors. But as for real sponsorship, I would love to have something like that. I've been wanting one, but my show's not big enough. No way. And they keep moving the goalpost to getting monetization. Really, I should be monetized by now. They keep moving the goalpost. They keep changing the rules and making it harder. But aside from that, I've been having a bunch of McDonald's moments. As you know, if you watch this show, I'm a fan of the junk food giant McDonald's. And recently, they've put out a new product that I think is sweeping the nation. I could be wrong. The Chicken Big Mac, also known as, I call it the Chack. I had one. Here's my review. It's a little strange. Here's why. When you bite into a Big Mac, and if you haven't had one in a while, I'm telling you, they're really good. If you haven't had one and you go have one, they're really good. They're not good for you. The Big Mac sauce is made with soybean oil, which is terrible for you. Okay? If you eat it on a regular basis, it will kill you. Unless you're that dude that's been eating McDonald's every day for 40 years. Have you seen this guy? So, if you have a Big Mac, they're great. They taste delicious. There's a certain softness to it. When you bite through it, it's just like, it's soft. You go right through it. When you bite through the Chack, the Chicken Big Mac, it's like soft, hard, soft, hard. The patty of chicken is not the regular chicken patty. They formulated one with some sort of tempura that it's delicious. It's like a giant chicken McNugget. It's like a you know, a big round flat chicken McNugget, and there's two of them. I think the texture's a little weird. I would make the bun a little bit more firmer. Just my suggestion. But then it might not be the Big Mac anymore. At this point, it's a different sandwich. So, I like it. I think it tastes good. I think it's a cool product. I think it's one of those things they should bust out every now and then. I would have another one. But, you know, nothing regular. And my go-to at McDonald's for the last 20 years has been their Filet-O-Fish. And ever since I discovered you could get a double Filet-O-Fish, that's probably my favorite sandwich. I do like the Big Macs. I love... Here's one. If you want to be healthy, for the health weirdos, get the Quarter Pounder, cheese or no cheese, but don't get ketchup or the pickle. And maybe don't eat the top bun. Just eat the bottom bun. It's a lot of bread. Not so bad for you. The ketchup's a lot of sugar. The pickle's bad for you. Anybody know why? Anybody know why? I'll give you a clue. Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. The color. That yellow they use in most pickles. It's poison. It's illegal in most countries. Now, I'm a fan of McDonald's. I'm also a shareholder, and it's been a lifelong dream of mine to own a franchise. Probably will never happen, but I would like to own a custom one, a cool one, a weird one, and they do exist. They let you do them. That's why I want to do one. I, over the years, have thought, why would they not either, A, just say, here's their commercial. Yo, what's up? I'm the CEO of McDonald's, and I've been eating here since I was a little kid, and it makes me smile. The logo, the Ronald, the food, the smell, the texture, everything's great. It's that moment when you don't feel well and your mom says, "Hey, want a cheeseburger from McDonald's?" Right? But I got to tell you something. It's junk food. It tastes good, but you can't eat it every day. So I think they should just admit it. Or do what they do in Europe. Use the right ingredients. I know it costs a little money, but I think in the long run, it'll balance out. You remember when pink slime got a bad rap? I mean, pink slime sounds bad, right? Well, honestly, they fixed it. They got rid of the pink slime. They got better meat. They started using better meat. There's a preservative we use in our American breads that's really bad. That's the worst thing at McDonald's for you is the bread. The bread and the sugar content. Oh, tonight I am drinking Turkey Hill iced tea. And so anyway, I've been on a McDonald's kick. I've been thinking about getting a really neat McDonald's tattoo. I haven't been tattooed in years. I'm lazy. I don't pay for these. People just tattoo me randomly. I even let people practice. I'm that guy when it comes to tattooing. I'm a bum and a cheapskate. I would never put fancy tattoos on my body. I don't even like them. I mean, I like seeing them on other people, but I like ones that mean a lot, or the experience of who did it means a lot. Like some of these I got at like 2 a.m. Friends were doing on me in different places all over the world. And so, to me, that's tattooing. And so I've been wanting to get a McDonald's tattoo. I don't know if it would be the Hamburglar, Ronald, I don't know, Grimace. I like all these characters. It's in my brain. I thought a really cool Halloween costume would be Ronald McDonald, but him. How cool would that be? So, what's going on in here? Let me look in here. I haven't been reading the chats. Yes, Fallon, what's up? Frankenstein. Have you ever I hate it. Oh, yeah. I have Frankenstein in order. You dare me to eat raw garlic. Interesting. I've eaten raw garlic. Well, that's an interesting dare. I do like raw garlic. Is that proof that I'm not a vampire? Yes, I did see... you know what, though? Fallon. We're talking about Morgan Spurlock, who actually died this year. Or last year. I got to do magic for him once. He was a very nice guy. I remember he was kind of tall. I think that movie, I don't know how honest. Captain Crook. Yes! I love him. I don't know how honest of a movie it was. I mean, when he kept going to the doctors and they were like, you're in bad shape, I think they were exaggerating. I really do. I know people that eat McDonald's. Dude, I eat it a lot. Sometimes my cholesterol numbers are weird. I've been trying to only have it once a week for the last few years. That's it, once a week. And usually it's something very small. It's like a cheeseburger or filet of fish. That's it. I very rarely get the French fries. I don't eat the deep fried stuff like the hash browns too often. Maybe a few times a year. So if you told me that I get to eat McDonald's once a week, but it's going to shave a few years off of my life, so be it. Dill pickles? Well, I tell you what, those dill pickles are toxic. Look at the ingredients. They use the really bad yellow dyes in those. I mean, the really bad ones. What's up, Melissa? Yes, exactly. So Michael brings up something, and which is why that documentary isn't accurate. He's been a bad drinker for many years. I think he drank a lot. And so that's why that doesn't mean anything. There's a guy on YouTube, if you look him up, he has been eating McDonald's and saving the box, the packaging, every day for almost 50 years. And there, you can see he seems pretty healthy. He eats like 2 Big Macs a day. And it's really weird. He goes at the beginning of the week and he buys them and he brings them home and he freezes them. How weird is that? Oh, we'll take a commercial break. Because I'm going to show you the trailer for Terrifier 2. Or should I show 3? I'll show 3 again. I'm going to show 3. Yes, he did die, Fallon. Yep, he did. I was quite shocked too. He wasn't old. But again, who knows what happened to him? I don't know. I got to meet him. It must have been at least 10 years ago, and he seemed happy and healthy. And now I did like Super Size Me. I think it was fun, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's junk food. So, okay, not only do I want the tin ashtray, they used to have glass ones. They're amber. They're about $300 on eBay. I have wanted one for years. Eventually, I will buy one. They're $300 fancy looking thick ashtrays with a big McDonald's logo. Yeah, I don't know. I've always loved them. I know it's junk food. I know they're a megacorp. But you gotta admit, they are a symbol of the USA. They really are. Take it or leave it. It's real. It's Coke, McDonald's. They're really like, it went everywhere. It's an ambassador for our culture of junk food and whatever you want to call it. Trashy culture, but owning it and not caring. You know, everybody I know that likes McDonald's is like, I don't care. You know, like, yeah, it's trash. I do think the company has a name to uphold. They, you know, they try to get away with all the dirty business they can, and then when they can't, they go, all right, we'll fix it. You know, that's what it seems like to me. Any other McDonald's fans out here? I know people that hate McDonald's so much, Serena, that they won't even, like, go near the building, Serena. I don't know if Serena's watching. But, yeah. I know. I mean, there are people that they like, it's the most evil thing in the world. When I even think of McDonald's, I get a smile. I'm loving it. Now, I just made a McDonald's hat, and it's almost done. I've been making, I don't know, I get into weird. Oh, right, Michael Pike here. He worked at one. Yeah, but you're not supposed to get free food, I heard. You're supposed to buy it, right? They don't give you free food. I heard they give you a discount. Obviously, you just eat it. I mean, if I worked there. Wow, you like the first one? Well, I'm here to tell you, I saw Terrifier 3 twice! And I have something to say. But we're not there yet. Hold on. See? Here we go. A 50s rock and roll McDonald's. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. Hail the Golden M from Satan's Plane. Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Party on. Great show. Follow that Satan's Plane guy. Right in there. His show's awesome. Mr. Bill, I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for showing up. Oh, see, there you go. Yeah. If they like you, you're going to get hooked up. I have a McDonald's cheeseburger. Hold on. I'm going to put a commercial on. I want to show you something. This is kind of neat. I'm going to put on a commercial.
Captain Crunch presents Breakfast on the Guppy. Morning already? ready, Sea Dog? Where's the crew? All hands on deck! Pirates off the port bow! This ought to fetch 'em. It's Captain Crunch, the cereal named after me.
Okay. So, I have here a McDonald's cheeseburger that I've had in my house for 8 months, 9 months. It was in the back seat of my car, wrapped up nicely, tucked in the pouch. I went to a rock show with my son and all his friends. And I don't know, we ordered a bunch of cheeseburgers, and this one slipped by. Look at what it looks like. Okay? There's the meat and the cheese. See the cheese on the side. Okay, now. So it has an odor, but it's not the odor of rotten food. It's almost like a Play-Doh plastic smell. Do you ever smell kids' toys that have that plastic smell? Yeah. It's hard. Now, what is that? That's called preservatives. There's a million preservatives in these things. I don't know what to say. I think they should not use them, but they do. And Burger King has a commercial right now where they show their burger and you see what happens. You see the mold grow on it. This thing's never had mold on it. It's pretty wild. Yeah. Whoa, the Philly cheese stack is my favorite burger. Wow, I've never had that. Never had it. Yeah, so that's, that whole like put the burger out and leave it. There it is. I'll save this. I'll probably eventually, I don't know, maybe I'll dip it in resin. It's pretty cool. Like, I wonder, it's made of people. Not just people, but homeless people. Oh my God. The food. One of the things I always liked about McDonald's is no matter where you are, if you get in line at a McDonald's, right? Especially in New York City, you will see in one line a homeless guy, a millionaire, a sports guy, a fat guy, a skinny guy. I mean, you'll see every shape, size, healthy people, unhealthy people, every ethnicity, right? That's McDonald's. That's why I like them. It's for everybody. And their new $6 meal is good. All right, keep going. Ooh, okay. 3 things to take note of. First, 2 films. The Birthday, starring Corey Feldman. Have you ever heard of this? It was made like 20 years ago, and it never came out. And they're going to release it at the movie theaters. And it looks good. It looks kind of high budget. I don't know what it is. Fallon says, you would think it would have sprouted legs by now. Yeah. But alas, it's preserved. It's like formaldehyded. Another film comes out next year, starring the same guy that plays Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton. It's called Screamboat. Now, if you go right now and look up the trailer for Screamboat online, it's not that good. But the trailer I saw at the movie theaters, wow! It's a Mickey Mouse horror film. It looks cool. It looks great. It's not what I thought. It looks really neat. So, I'm looking forward to that. And one more thing before we get into this, because I want to get high and start talking Art the Clown and nihilism and tragedy, because that's what it all is. I found something recently. Has anybody ever seen The Y-Files? It's a show on YouTube on this network. It's called The Y-Files. Well, there's an episode, a newer one, on Project Blue Beam. Look up Project Blue Beam, and I was shocked when I saw what it was. Many years ago, somebody said something about what the government's doing that lines up with what I recently thought. Like, I kind of came to it on my own with my own conclusions and kind of added it up. And all of a sudden, I see this, and I'm like, oh my God, there it is. And it's about the government faking all the UFO stuff. Now, this Project Bluebeam thing takes that concept and takes it very far. It takes it to Wizard of Oz places. And I'm not exaggerating, okay? And I think you should check it out. Have a look. Project Bluebeam is the subject. The Y-Files did an episode on it, but you can just go read the wiki. It's fascinating. Yeah, okay, the Y-Files, yep. Yeah, it's a good show. Sometimes the information is a little but then he debunks it. He does the debunking, which I like. He creates a mystery, shows you the mysteries, and then he kind of gives you the reality and, you know, the unknowns at the end, which I appreciate, you know. And, you know, it makes you want to go do your own research, which is the whole point of this show. I like throwing things out there, and then when people that watch my show go, oh my God, I watched your show and went down a wormhole, I'm like, awesome. That's the greatest thing I could ever hear. If anything I say or do makes you go down wormholes, then that's good. All right, we got a good group in here now. If you're new, say hi, click the damn like, click the subscribe, hit the notify bell, all that crap. It means something. It really does. The algorithms on here are terrible, and they keep making them worse and worse and worse and worse. They don't want shows like this on this show. They don't. It doesn't do anything for them. I'm in the way, you know? Teacup. I've never even heard of it. If it's TV, I don't see them. It's very hard for me to see. I don't know. I know Godzilla Season 2's coming out, which is called... What's it called? I forgot. I can't even remember the name of that show. I saw a few episodes. I don't have time. I did see... What did I see? I know what I saw. I saw this. This episode is called Terrified and the Happy Nihilist. And it's about the Terrifier movie that just came out. And we're going to tie it into some things, okay? Anybody see the movie Terrifier 3? This will be basically, this will be spoilers free. I won't spoil anything. I'll give you a little bit of how the flow of it goes without spoiling any of the details. I would never want to ruin this experience for anybody. I'll tell you right now, I saw it twice. I saw it Wednesday, the 10th, which is the night before the opening. And then I saw it Saturday. I'm going to tell you about the first screening first. Alien Ant Farm. Yeah, what is that? Isn't that the name of a band? Anybody see the movie? I'm curious. If you have, tell me. I know one of my what's his name's at seeing it tonight. One of our viewers, Lorcan, Lord Lorcan, I believe is seeing it right now because he said I can't watch your show. I'll beat the movies. I went on the night before with my son. I don't know if he's watching tonight. He was raised on horror movies. I mean, the day he could walk, I mean, not even that. Even when he was a baby, there was horror movies on the television. I mean, since the moment that guy was born, he has been immersed in monsters, loud music, horror. He's also been immersed in jazz and classical. My kids grew up in a really, I mean, look around. This is what they were around, you know? And so he's a horror fan. And my mama, who's watching, she likes horror movies. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So, wow, okay. So Achilles liked the second one better. Wow. Okay, that's it. We'll talk about that. Some people did like the second one better. I don't. I like the third one. I'll explain. So, I didn't see 2 at the movies. I didn't. But I gotta give this one credit for being more than an amazing movie. I'll say it right off. It's one of the best, most fun experiences I've had in a movie theater since Freddy Jason came out. When Freddy Jason came out, I saw it opening night in the Hood, and my seat was soaking wet from soda. It was sold out. There were ketchup stains on the screen from kids whipping hot dogs at the screen, and people were screaming. I mean, it was one of my favorite movie theater memories. Well, going to see Terrifier 3 last Wednesday night, I mean, it was like beyond Jason and Freddy because of the hype. This movie has the hype The Exorcist got. There's never been a movie like this since The Exorcist where they have ambulances parked outside the movie theaters. Both screenings I saw, well, in the first screening, the security came in and kicked out a bunch of kids because it was sold out. Then they snuck back in. Some of the people in the movie theater were really young. And then the second screening, the people beside us ran out in the first scene. That's the sell. People are leaving in the first scene. Well, it's true. And he's not paying for this publicity. It's all real. And so going in the theater, I got baked, so heavily baked, it was insane. And I went in, and we went in right at the last second. Oh, the popcorn bucket they didn't have. None of them have it. You got to pre-order it. That's not cool. I did, however, get the cup. The fact that there's a cup, an official cup for this movie at the real movie theaters gives me goosebumps that this kind of movie got this far. Mark the Barbarian, come on in. So I go in with my family, and dude, I was nervous. I could feel it. Everybody was kind of nervous. Like, how scary is this? Because the hype is crazy. And so I'll just tell you this. The movie starts, and the first thing in the movie is almost like its own little mini movie. Now it does fit into the story. It's not like separate. It is, but it's its own thing. You could just show it as a complete piece, and no one will. It is absolutely shocking. It is so well edited and directed. Now let's get to the deets. Terrifier 2 cost $250,000 and made, I think, $15 million. Terrifier 3 cost $2 million, and it's already at $19 million, and it is definitely going to go farther than that. It's going to go really far, and it's the #1 movie at the box office now. It puts to shame the Joker. Honestly, the acting in it is really good. The lead girl, she plays the character Sienna. Fantastic. And David Howard Thornton, that plays the Art the Clown character. It's really, really fantastic stuff. And all the little side characters. There's cameos. If you're a horror fan, there's definitely Easter eggs throughout the movie. So the movie starts with this like opening number, and then it picks up right at the end of 2. I mean, it does. It's part of the story. It's not like a separate thing. It's a continuation, and I don't know what to say about it, but the gore, the violence, the little girl's not in the new one, no. And they didn't explain why yet, but there's going to be a reason. The gore is done not by Damien Leone, the director. The director, Damien Leone, directs, edits, and produces, and normally does the special effects. But this time, I think he realized he was going to oversee it and let somebody else do it. So somebody else did the effects. It's some of the best work you're ever going to see. It's all in camera, gore, blood, on a level that you've never seen before. It's perfect. It's Tom Savini, this guy, Damien's, he's a disciple. All of these people are disciples of Tom Savini. Tom Savini said that doing SPFX makeup is like a magic trick. You're trying to fool the audience into thinking it's some sort of, it's so real that it makes you wince. And it's all in the editing. Because just before you notice that it's a fake arm, you've already cut the camera. You don't get a chance. It's just enough. They give you just enough to tell the story, but they're out. And they're stingy. The good ones are stingy. You don't get a lot. You get, and it's over. And it makes that image in your brain. For instance, if you watch the original Exorcist, the original one, you know the face that's like a, that face that flashes subliminally? Do you know in the original Exorcist, it only does it once? That actual, the dark makeup-y, ugly face. If you watch when they re-released it at the movies, the new edit, they use it through the whole movie. They do it like 8 times. It's on the wall. They do it here. I was like, oh, they ruined the subliminal part. Now we notice it. They ruined the magic trick part. They actually ruined it. I hate those director's cut Exorcist. With the spider walk. You know the spider walk that you see in that movie not only was cut because it didn't work right, they reshot it. So you're seeing a modern scene added. They actually, that her like coming down and her mouth opening is not even in the, they never filmed that. That's all. It's not real. I hate it when they do that. Hey, bada bing. Somebody tipped. Hey, I love it. Tony D, thank you very much. Yes, this is a tip show. If you tip, I love it. I work as an entertainer, and this means something. Thank you very much, sir. So the movie's going. The opening scene happens, and, well, why is this so shocking? Why are people running out? Why are people vomiting in the theater? Some of the theaters even handed out barf bags. Well, it really is gross. It really does get under your skin. If you're not terrified by one thing, this director is going to get you with something else. There's going to be something that makes you go, ooh. And in the opening scene, there is... I've never seen any of his other films other than the ones that deal with Art the Clown, which are All Hallows Eve, love it, Terrifier 1, 2, and 3. He might have done some other shorts that I don't know about. The gore is so over the top, and the subject of the gore is so over the top, but it's done tastefully. He takes some taboo subjects and artistically figures out a way to turn them into Greek tragedy that we can appreciate. I'm not kidding. I reached a catharsis in this movie. It is so loud and so much. I mean, somebody in here said they liked 2 better. I'm curious of why. The pacing of 2 is a little slower. There's not as much in it. This Terrifier 3 has so much in it. It's a slasher movie. It's a monster movie. It sometimes feels like you're watching an H.P. Lovecraft, Stuart Gordon Reanimator movie. It's serious yet zany. So the campy nature of Art the Clown saves the edge. You know, there's a razor edge in this. And so it can be goofy, but when it gets to the scary, it really is scary and really gritty and really nasty and goes for the dark, scary part. You know, it commits to each thing it's trying to do. If it's trying to be goofy, it goes goofy. If it's trying to be really dark, it goes dark. And I think it really, really is successful. There's a lot in this movie. It's meaty. The lore is in it. They add a lot to the lore that's mysterious in part 2. I know if you've seen 2, there's mysteries. I have not seen the scary movies. You mean the Necronomicon by Simon? I mean that book? That was a hoax. I have a really good article on the two guys that put that book out. Oh, wow. You saw people leave. Was it the chainsaw scene? There's one scene, you know, every Terrifier movie has a piece de resistance. In the first one, it's the hacksaw. In the second one, it's the bedroom scene. And in the third one, I would have to say it's the chainsaw. It's you can tell he knew that this was going to be the one. It's so well done. Holy free holy. Yikers. Wow. Necronomicon by H.P. Lovecraft? Huh? He wrote a story? I don't think Lovecraft ever wrote a story called the he wrote about the Necronomicon, but did he? I'm confused. Yeah. The Joker dropped 82%. Yeah. In its second week. Yeah. What does that say? Antrim. Never heard of it. Antrim. Yep, they got their asses handed to them, says Melissa. Hollywood. Yeah, they thought I don't know how they thought the Joker was going to do well without a test audience. Did they just think it was one of those, like, it made $1 billion, therefore opening weekend's it's just going to be sold out everywhere? I think that's what they thought. I saw it. It's terrible. It's actually terrible. Yeah, it hates that you like the first one. That's what it seemed like. The Lovecraftian Necronomicon was like, what? That I don't know. The Call of Cthulhu story, I believe, mentions the Necronomicon. I forget which ones mention it. My favorite H.P. Lovecraft story is In the Shadow of Innsmouth. I highly recommend it. It's not long. It's entertaining and really, really good. Okay, so the bedroom scene in the second one, Paul, is really gross, he wrote. But the whole movie of Terrifier 2, starting in the very first beginning, all the way to the last scene, is like that but worse. Now, when I heard that, I was like, ooh. But trust me, it's done well. It's done well. And there's some cameos in here that are kind of cool if you're a horror film fan. Clint Howard is in the movie. Star Trek fans, old television show fans. There's some neat stuff in this. He's going to make a lot of money. These are hometown heroes. These are Long Island guys. Damien's from I'm in Queens. He's from just right out of Long Island. He made it. He did it. He won. His character that he came up with on his own, this character now is going to be the king of horror. I really think so. Right here. You're going to have Godzilla as the king of the monsters, and you're going to have Art the Clown as king of horror. This movie puts to shame almost every movie I've ever seen. I mean, really. Oh, the mashed potatoes scene? Wait, which one's that? Mashed potatoes? Refresh my memory, because I've seen 2 many times. My favorite scene in 3, and I won't, again, no spoilers. I really liked the opening. I thought artistically it was on point. Meaning the editing and the directing. I thought editing and directing wise, he created so much tension before showing the goods that I was so amazed. Really, that's what it did for me. I'm a timing guy. I'm a magician. I work as a magician. I work in nightclubs and I do private parties. For me, it's all timing. So when I'm watching people, I'm watching the timing and the rhythm that sets up the grand finale or whatever it is. And there's a rhythm, there's a musicality, there's a technique to creating maximum wonder. It's the Greek rules of drama. And this guy gets it. And it seems like he's a natural. He just knows. He can feel it. It's like he knows how to dangle the carrot and then take it away and then dangle it. And then when he finally does the punch, he commits. I came up with a good analogy. A lot of magicians lean into magic being goofy. And they'll actually, like when you see their shows, they make a lot of jokes on how stupid magic is, or how magicians are losers. You know, like, oh yeah, we don't have any friends, or, you know, we're nerds. And, you know, they joke about how dumb and nerdy it is. Or they'll be like, it's magic. And then they do the trick. Or they'll lean into the comedy elements as opposed to the wow elements. And I always thought, well, then it's not magic. It's like being a comedian with no laughs. Well, then you're not a comedian. You might be interesting. You might be thoughtful and philosophical, but it's not comedy, right? So to me, magic's the same thing. You can be funny, you can be goofy, you can make fun of magic, but to me, it should eventually get to the point where it's like, and now I'm going to blow your head off. It's going to be really good. It's going to be really good magic. The fooling part is actually an explosion of wonder. And I always thought the reason why people go the goofy route is either they're not very good and they know it and they're kind of leaning into, because I've had magicians, when I meet them, they go, oh yeah, I'm not very good, but I make it entertaining. All right, well that's kind of weird. It's like they're instead of being like, I need to get better at the sleight of hand part, they're like, why would I bother with that? I'll just make it funny. Well, then it's not magic. To me, it's the same thing in filmmaking. A lot of films don't have the balls to jump in and go for it and take it seriously. Because if you take something seriously and you fail, you look like an idiot. At least that's what the perceived concept is. And if you're a happy nihilist like me, you eventually realize nothing matters and who cares? Unless I care, it doesn't matter. So taking risks and being goofy or being stupid or being dead serious, it is what it is. And so this movie, he does get serious when he needs to, and he lightens it up when he doesn't. But the whole time there's tension. Because you know something bad's going to happen, something gross. Oh, right. Okay. Wait, the dining room table? I really don't remember that. Now that you're... What? The son? Which son? The skinny, nerdy looking guy? Art was serving food. Art was serving food? What scene is he serving food? The clown scene? Ah, yes. Okay. So Paul Whitaker liked that they added a slight fantasy element to the avenging angel Sienna and the glowing sword. Yeah, there is a fantasy element in 2, but you didn't think there was one in 3? I thought it was still there. It was just not happening. Like, because it happened in the second one, it's like, whoa, that happened. And we weren't sure in the third one. Like, yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. I have a funny feeling part 4 is going to be your movie. Because I think that's what we're going to get. Oh, Michael Pike did magic. Ooh, another magician. I like it. Okay. So Paul Whitaker brings up Tommy Cooper from the UK. I'm a big fan. I know quite a bit about him. I have friends whose parents hung out with him. Bohemian Rhapsody. You mean the movie? Or the song? So Tommy Cooper was a comedian the joke was he was a magician. I mean, I don't think I ever saw him do a real trick. but yeah, I mean, the Tommy Cooper version doesn't count because he never does a trick. There's never a trick that's like, oh wow, that was actually, like, none of them. I love Spoon Jar Jar Spoon. Anybody look up Tommy Cooper. Now, here's why I like him a lot. And I know a lot about him because of this story. A lot of people don't know this. Tommy Cooper died performing live on TV. And you can watch the video. You won't be able to see it here on YouTube because this channel sucks and censors everything. But you could probably see it either on Twitter or if you do a deep search. Tommy Cooper dies on stage. It's beautiful. And here's why. He's known for being funny and live on TV. Live. It's his own special. The Queen of England was watching. She was a fan. He starts joking around and he like gets a little weird and he kind of falls over and he's sitting on the stage and he falls back and that's it. They close the curtain and that's it. He dies. And they cut to commercial and then I think they came back and said, hey, Tommy had to go to the hospital even though he had died. They didn't say it. Now, the audience is laughing. When he falls over, they're like, ah! I mean, it fit his character. Even the girl on stage is like, oh my gosh, he's being funny. I imagine this, you know, me having a heart attack at one of my gigs and the audience laughing and clapping. I mean, for me, it would be, I wouldn't know if I was dying. How would I know? I'd just pass out and that would be that. So it wouldn't mean anything to me. But if I could know what happened in my end, I would accept that as kind of neat. I would take that. So, Tommy Cooper. Oh, the Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody? What about it? I mean, it's a great song. Oh, nothing really matters. Yeah, I mean, you've seen Wayne's World, yes. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm a major fan of that song and movie. I like the lyrics. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. I'm a happy nihilist. I think there's no point to anything. I think we get to make our own points. I think we can sign up for others' people's points of view and values. We can make our own. I think having no point to anything to a lot of people scary and terrible and disturbing and what? But for me, it's not. I kind of always assumed that even when I was little. And I always assumed that even if I knew what was going on in the universe and the laws of nature, it would be so disturbing that I would lose my mind, which is a concept in the H.P. Lovecraft stories. The concept of going insane from seeing things otherworldly, beyond our human brain's understanding, to the point of damaging us with the knowledge of what can be. Not what can be unburdened by what has been. Not to go into that, but do you know that phrase, what can be unburdened by what has been? Do you know that the pause, whenever she says it, is put in the wrong place? It should be, what can be unburdened by what has been. It can be unburdened, not what can be unburdened by what has been. It's a weird, it's like saying, there's a famous Shakespeare speech. It's Romeo and Juliet. It's when he sees Juliet in the window. And the line, it's a beautiful line. He goes, but soft, which means be quiet. But soft, his friend's there. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, right? No, that's not the analogy. I'm thinking of to be or not to be. Oh, yeah. So to be or not to be, that is the question. I've seen it done where it's to be or not. To be that is the question. It's like a weird pause. It kind of changes the meaning. It's like to be or not to be. That's the question. That's the actually opening line of Albert Camus' Myth of Sisyphus. Basically that. And so, and Shakespeare wrote it for Hamlet. He's contemplating suicide, right? Well, if you just move the pause, the meaning changes. Whenever I hear that, what can be, unburdened by what has been, I'm like, what? I don't know who your coach is, but you should move the pause. It's terrible. What's this? I mean, we should be able to solve our basic needs and never need to make another animal sacrifice to eat for our food. Wait, what's this? Wait, what's this about not eating? Fear the elements. What is that referring to? Yes, Shakespeare does kick ass. There's what's called an atom. Wait, what's going on here with animal sacrifices and eating food? I actually, I don't think that's bad. Not the sacrifice part, but I just think for the elements and hunting, our animal parts to our core, I don't mind. I mean, it gives us a point. It gives us context, maybe. Procreation, the pursuit of knowledge to expand our evolution. Well, okay, so that's interesting. Procreation, it has to, I mean, if you're going to pick a point, that's the only one, because if you don't do that, it all disappears, right? But then the pursuit of knowledge to expand our evolution. So I think it's a good idea, but I don't know if that's a point. Let me think about that. I've made that what you've said, Paul, the pursuit of knowledge to expand. I wouldn't say my evolution. We only evolve when we have to. And whatever works moves on. It evolves. It keeps going. It goes to the next group. Whatever works. If it doesn't work, it goes away. And so, to me, if we are evolving, whatever it may be, it has to be working. And then whatever's working, they have to have babies. So, knowledge, obviously, by I would say not the, I would say the curiosity of knowledge is what we want to pass on to our kids. And so, how often do you think we have to evolve? Well, you can't ask that question that way, because we're evolving right now. If evolution is a long, slow process that has no goal in mind. It just goes with whatever works. If it doesn't work, it goes. If it works, it stays. And whatever it is that's doing that, they have to breed. Like, they have to have babies. And that's what it is. Wherever there's a problem, we must evolve. Okay, well, we're talking, this word evolve, we're using it very not philosophically sound. We're using it in two different contexts. There's the Darwin evolution, and then the word we use, evolve, constantly in our slang. And so I think we're conflating the two. Like, if there's a problem, well, I can't evolve. I'm the same person I was when I was born. I can learn new ideas, but that doesn't evolve me. Like, it might open my mind up to certain things. Like, it's funny, like, when I think about evolution as an actual mechanic. I'm very curious. And teaching it doesn't mean anything. I can teach you can't teach curiosity. It's just you're born with it. If enough people are born with it and it's actually making our species move, then that trait will get passed down. If it's not useful, it doesn't get passed down. It doesn't mean anything. It has to be a useful trait that has something to do with you getting to tomorrow. And those are the things that stick around. This is why we haven't evolved much since caveman days. We've evolved, but it's very slow. So since caveman days till now, in the grand scheme of history, that's only like a millisecond. So add 100 of those milliseconds and you'll see we will look different. Physically, we will evolve a little bit or devolve, which is not good, but we could. And so it's not about problem solving. We can evolve ideas, but it's not evolution in the Darwin sense. The way I understood evolution was through dog breeding. That's what do they call it? Microevolution. It's like, it's here. We can do it. We can see it. If you take a little dog and a big dog and you breed them, they get medium-sized dogs. But the conservative Christians will say, well, you can't take a blob of cells and then in a certain amount of time it's a pig. Or a pig can't turn into an elephant. It's not going to happen, right? But people, we didn't evolve to understand 1 billion years or 1 million years or any of these things. When you add that in there to that concept, you see what it is. It takes that long. And our human existence is and we're in it. So it doesn't seem like that, it seems like it's long and we've been around for a while, but please, it's like a millisecond. Right. We evolve over time to adapt the danger, but that evolution is not biological evolution. For instance, let's say it gets darker out. Like the sun, it's cloudier. Or the sun and the pollution makes it dark. So that means people that can see in the dark are going to be better off, right? So if you can see in the dark and he can see in the dark and they can see in the dark and they can see in the dark and they have kids, well, then those kids are probably going to be able to see better in the dark. And see, there's where a trait will now become part of the species. And so, but even 1,000 years won't develop night vision. That's not how it works. It's not possible. It would take not even 100,000 years, maybe. Not even that, maybe 500,000. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I know it's long. To get actual, yes, my mom laying it down with a mic drop. My mom just wrote, "We are still hunters and gatherers." Yes, we are. That's it. We want to be more than that, but we're hunters and gatherers that do quantum mechanics and, it's a weird mix. But yes, we are. We're hunters and gatherers. Listen, one of the proofs that we haven't evolved is my magic tricks still work thousands of years later. I'm using the same techniques as the ancient shaman used. And the reason why it works is they solved how our brain works, our data processor. And it's the same. You would think we would evolve to go, I see how the trick works. But we haven't, because we haven't evolved. That's not how it works. We've evolved, in quotes, culturally to know it's not witches and demons making the ball appear in my hand. Although some cultures might believe it to this day. But you see what I'm saying? It's not the same as our brains evolving. I think we're actually de-evolving now because the traits that are going to do well in the future are subservience and stupidity. Those traits will do better in the future. Now, I don't know. The unhealthy elite will be able to modify. But the people that are going to breed and do well just the old-fashioned way might be the subservient types. The people that are more subservient are going to start being successful because the people that aren't subservient are going to get shooed away. That's my personal opinion. Yes, exactly. Technology is doing a lot of the hard work, so we don't need that part of our brain anymore. So, it's not good. It's like, and if you get people, if entire groups of people aren't even thinking anymore, are they having babies? Probably not. Probably not allowed to. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. Now, again, a lot of people hear this evolutionary stuff of how we're just still cavemen, and it makes them feel terrible. And that version of nihilism's painful. Now, these movies are kind of nihilistic. It's just people getting murdered. And I'll be honest, when I used to see Jason and Freddy movies when I was in high school, we kind of cheered it on. We kind of like, woo, 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 when people would get killed. But Terrifier, you don't cheer it on. You're just like, it's so much. It's so graphic and so real that you're just like, oh. Like, I mean, many times I'm like, oh, like, wow, like, top notch gore. Oh, good stuff. Michael Pike writes, I use a mix of technology, shamanism, like you. A couple of pages from Wicca and sigils pre-existing and some I made my... Yeah, I mean, dude, this is why the occult movement fascinated me as a child, because most people I saw in the occult movement, had left the Judeo-Christian world and now are applying all the same values to the Wiccan and occult world. It's the same thing. Same values, same concepts. There's good, there's evil, there's free will. There are gods, there's worship, right? It's the same. There's no different. When I discovered the real occult stuff, and I realized that if you open your eyes and look close, you will see that you are the boss dog and you can do whatever you want. You can make your own rules. You can craft your own sigils. You can make your own patron saints. You can ritualize however you so desire for your own results. And you're the boss. And when I realized that's the occult that's the here part. Oberon Zellravenheart has a lot of that. Has a lot of what? What is that? Oh, wow. Here we go. Take scouts when they're a... You mean Boy Scouts? My son did Boy Scouts, and I thought it was pretty good, actually. Yeah, so Michael's talking about he makes his own stuff up, which is... I mean... Well, LaVey's work was one of the first guys to write about, in my opinion, what the occult really was. He actually gave away a really big secret. Really. I'm glad he did. I mean, it was funny, like, when I read his works, I had already been thinking those things, and it made sense. That's why it was like, oh, this is exactly what I was thinking. Anton LaVey said the occult was a do-it-yourself God kit. Really, that's it. And there's not much to it. That's why when people ask me for advice on occult stuff, just them asking me, I know they're not seeing it. They've already, their blinders are on. And so I don't like giving too much, but sometimes I'll give a little bit of like, you should be looking in that direction. Check that out. Not, it's funny. The occult's fun because it's hidden and it's unseen and there is mystery and there's an air of, I don't want to use the word negative, but there's an air of darkness. And in that darkness, I always thought it's a little bit like the Greek tragedy, where you understand that the jungle, if you could incarnate a god of the jungle, of the law of the jungle, it wouldn't be so... It might be beautiful, but it also might be really fierce. So fierce and so over the top that it's shocking. And that's the law of the jungle. It's wild. And some people like it and some people don't like it. And I always thought that there are two types of people. When they discover that the law of the jungle never goes away, it can't. It doesn't work because it's the fabric. You can, quote, remove it, but it's still there. You just gave it a new name or put blinders on people, but it's still there. And so a lot of people, when they see that, like, oh, this is what it is, they either like take themselves out or, hide, or they get mad. They don't like it. It's wrong. That's wrong. And I learned this from Friedrich Nietzsche. I mean, really, when I started really pulling it apart, and it's like when people hear the word capitalism, and I hear this all the time, so often in public, people will say, they'll make a comment on like, capitalism sucks, or whenever our capitalism's over, we'll be just fine. As if we get rid of capitalism, everything's going to be fine. Like if we would just totally go into socialism mode. And I hate to break it to them, but one of the reasons why the other things don't work as well is because they're farther away from the jungle. Capitalism to me is like the jungle. And this is why people don't like it. I was just saying, when people see the jungle, they get, Same with capitalism. When somebody who's not good at it, or good at running in the jungle, or hunting or gathering, right? Because that's the jungle. When they're not good at hunting and gathering, and they see this, or someone making money, capitalism, on their own, willy-nilly, going for it, they get mad at them. And if they get too big, they really get mad. And I always thought, like, well, capitalism's not perfect, clearly. But at least it's the jungle with a couple of rules to make it a little more manageable in our modern society, so that we're not cleaning bodies off the sidewalk all the time because we're in tribal combat, And so, here we go. I love it. Satansplain, laying the law. LaVey took Occam's razor to the occult. Interesting. Now, wait, refresh me. Occam's razor is the philosophical argument of... Hold on. I get them mixed up sometimes. Occam's razor isn't the one... Hold on. I get them mixed up because one of the philosophical phrases like that is referring to when you're trying to figure out something, the most obvious answer is it. Occam's razor is... We're going to look this up. It's funny. I know all of these, but there's so many of them now. I'm starting to get... yeah, that's what it is. I was right. The simplest explanation is the correct one. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Like, the most obvious answer. It's a windy day out, and my doors were opening and closing like there was a ghost. Well, the obvious answer is it was windy out, right? That's kind of Occam's razor. Whatever the most obvious answer is most likely the actual answer. Interesting. I like this. Take the simplest answer. Yeah, whatever's the most simple. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I mean, I just the thing that LaVey didn't have, and this is what I'm writing about in my book, is he wasn't doing magic like I do it for the public. And when you're doing magic and mentalism and hypnosis for the public, you get to learn something that's, you get to see, and this is where my magic theory is coming from, the predictability stuff only happens from practice. And you have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And you have to do it for different people. And you have to see how they're reacting. When that happens, you realize that magic is real. I mean, you start to be able to like take in everything in one moment and see where things are going to go. And Occam's razor for me is that it's like you're able to just absorb, and whatever the most simple solution is where everything's probably going to go. Interesting. Here you go. But Occam's razor from Satan's Plane says, don't bring a middleman in to explain things. Because it unsimplifies it. It kind of might jumble it up a bit. Interesting. Yeah, it's about using simplicity in problem solving, which is what I've always done. Anytime I have a problem, I just try to take it apart and look at the core elements of it, and then, build it. And I'll take it in backwards and then rebuild it and see what's possible. Wow, what a great episode so far. I'm going to have to get off soon. I haven't eaten yet. I did a show. I did a wedding today. Beautiful wedding. A gothic wedding on a Monday, which is funny. And if you follow my Instagram, Cardone Magic, I'll probably post a little video later. It was beautiful. And a lot of different kinds of people there. And I was doing magic. Wow, you guys have to read my chat. This is a live show for a reason. The people that come in this show have the greatest things to say. And if you're watching the show on a rerun, go look at the chat. I'm telling you, you're going to be like, wow. And some of my people in here have their own podcasts, and they're very good. You should definitely subscribe. Satan's Plains is good. Love it. What else was I going to say before I bounce? Because this week is busy. I have a show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, off 2 days, and then next week I have a few more, and then the last week I have a bunch. So it's a busy month. I have coming up this week a bunch of shows for the Jewish community. It's the outdoor eating festival, Sukkot, and they hire me to do every night. So I have a bunch of temples that I work for. Oh yeah. See, this is great, Paul. Thank you. Whenever people tell me they take notes on my show and then look up stuff later, I'm like, dude, I'm just doing this because I like learning. I'm a forever student. I like learning philosophy a lot. And I would say this show is mostly philosophy and horror film review, right? Punk rock, horror. I don't do a lot of classical and jazz, although I do listen I would say 60% of the music I listen to is non-rock. 60. And then 40% is punk rock, metal. But I listen to a lot of classical and jazz and lounge music and other weird things. But, ooh, what's this? Mr. Cardone. Cassius, do I know you? Everybody has weird names on here, and I kind of know you. Do I know you, Cassius? I even have, like, some of my magic students pop in here. I have people from my elementary school. I have college classmates. There's been movie stars, rock stars. You name it. We get them in these chats. That's why I tell people, you got to come jump in. Game designers, fashion designers. I haven't done a live interview for a while, and I don't like doing them, and I'll tell you why. When the guest is sitting here, I love it. When they're sitting in digital land and I have to do the digital part, I don't like it. It stresses the hell out of me. It's a lot to juggle. Yeah, Cassius! Yo, buddy! Party on! I know you. What grade are you now, Cassius? Somebody that was in one of my Dungeons and Dragons groups is in here. Yeah! Cassius. What grade are you now? I'm curious. Okay, rock and metal for Michael. Yeah. I mean, I grew up on punk rock. It's in my... If somebody says what's in my blood, it's punk rock. My internal clock is... It's like hardcore punk rock. Wow, you're in 10th grade. Congrats, buddy. Are you going to school in the city? Where are you? Are you in New York City still? Are you... Because that was a while ago. 10th grade. Wow. Okay. So you're in high school. Pretty cool, bro. Do you know what you want to do after school? Have you made any plans? Have you thought about it? Like job possibilities? I'm curious. Cassius was in my... What was your character's name? Hold on. It'll come to me. Excellent. And if you're gaming, I'm curious. You should game. You should start some DCC up. All right, I'm going to go soon. I got to eat. I didn't eat yet. And it's still weed o'clock. I tell you right now, go see Terrifier 3. It's an event. You will see people running out of the theater. If there's people there, you're going to see somebody run out. It's pretty nuts. Don't bring little kids. Although I would have probably brought my kids because we watched a lot of documentaries on how they make special effects. If you are going to show your kids an extreme horror film, make sure you show them videos on how they make the stuff. I always thought that helps. Oh, you're at Nest. Excellent. Architecture. Carnegie Mellon has a good architecture program. Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, congrats. Nest is a very prestigious public school in New York City. Ooh, the Vordelak. What? Wow. I never saw. I'm on, Paul. That's what I'm into. Here's the movies I want to see. I want to see, well, the new Mickey Mouse, Nosferatu. I want to see The Birthday with Corey Feldman, which isn't out yet. And, oh, the new Hellboy. There's a new Hellboy movie, and it's low budget, and it got a good review. It's the only thing is it's online. It's like $20 to watch it. I'm going to wait a little bit. I don't need to, but I heard it's good, and the creator of Hellboy wrote the screenplay. It's called The Crooked Hellboy, The Crooked Man. It got good reviews. It's just not a big splashy movie. It's low budget, which I like. Wow. The Vordelak. I'm going to go look at the trailer as soon as I get off. All right. I'm going to take us out. I'm going to show the trailer for Terrifier 3. If they pull my video, so be it. I mean, I'm trying to help the movie, and I want this to go big. I want him to do well. I want independent horror films to do well. We are in a renaissance of horror right now, clearly. And we have... Oh, Wicked looks good. Yes, it does. For big budget, splashy Hollywood, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we are right now living in a moment where underground horror that costs only a couple $100,000 gets to have cups at the movie theater and #1 at the box office. Come on, people! I'm constantly cheering on the independent artists, and we got one who got through. It's undeniable. Damien Leone's the king of horror. I swear, he is. He's it. There's no one going to come close for years, and there's going to be a lot of imitators. You watch. There's going to be a whole new genre of extreme horror, and none of them are going to come close. They're not going to have the sensibility, the art sensibility, and the directability, and they're not going to have an actor like David Howard Thornton. No way. Not happening. These people are perfect, and we got lucky. It's a perfect matchup. So I'm going to take us out with... what the hell? We're going to watch Terrifier 3, the trailer. I've seen the movie twice already. I'm definitely going to go again. Maybe 2-3 more times. I hope it lasts all the way till Christmas, to the new year, and I'll see you maybe next week. This is a live show. Thank you, everybody who's in here. It means a lot to me. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the notify and tell your friends. And if you're the tipping type, hit that tip button. If you go in the chat there in the message in the description, there is a link to the tips. My unofficial sponsors, there's links in there. Oh, there's a new Spawn movie too. I never saw the first Spawn movie. I missed it. Maybe I'll watch it. Thank you, Melissa. You too. Yeah, let's have a good week. I got a busy work week, but I'll see you next week, and we will party on. Let's watch this.
You survived the most famous serial killer since Jack the Ripper. The 5-year anniversary is coming up. I think a lot of people would really like to hear from you after all this time. Want to know what it's like to be in the presence of that kind of evil. What goes through your brain when he's close enough to you. You feel his breath. I saw him today.
Who? How can you be sure it was really him?
I could feel it.
Who's this Santa? He's scaring my kid.
Yeah, he's scaring me too.
Hey, Santa's handing out presents!
Why would he come back here? Even if he was alive, which he isn't. Wouldn't you want to get as far away from here as possible, as far away from you?
We both know this isn't over. I have to go back to the Terrifier.
It's still buried there, isn't it?
It might be the only thing that can stop them. Looking forward to the best Christmas ever, filled with fun, smiles, and laughter.